I want to tell you this fun little story about something that happened to me a few days ago that involves angels. So, if some of you I know probably have read some of my books, so here are a couple of my books. I have 3 books, but these are 2 of them. So if you've read my books, that's Hermit's Way Homestead is my husband, by the way. So he says, thank you, Dina. My husband, Craig, is his name. But anyway, so if you've read my books, you know, I talk about it a lot. I see angels pretty regularly. I know that might sound crazy to some people, but we do have a biblical precedent to believe that sometimes God uses angels to interact with humans. We see that happening a lot, quite often in the Bible, and I believe that it happens still today. And so I have experienced throughout the years seeing angels, and I see them often, actually. And I've seen all different kinds of angels over the years. I actually remember when I was a little girl having interactions and seeing my guardian angel. Yes, I believe that is a real thing, folks, that we are assigned at least one guardian angel when we are conceived, before we are even born. And so I remember, even as a little girl, seeing this guardian angel, and I still see this angel in my life today. So when I remember him, I did not know when I was a little girl that he was an angel. He was like my invisible friend. You know how some kids have these invisible friends. I do believe that a lot of times children, because they are childlike, obviously, in the way they think, that they are more open to seeing things in the spiritual realm. And that God, I think, delights to sometimes allow children to have interactions with angels. I can't prove that; it's not necessarily in the Bible, but I do believe that, and from my own experiences as well. So if you know of a little child that has an invisible friend, it might actually be an angel. So anyway, I have seen guardian angels. I have seen fire angels. What I've observed in the spiritual realm throughout the years is that there are different kinds of angels who look different based on their purpose, based on what they do. So and the Bible mentions some of these angels. We've got messenger angels. That would be like Gabriel, who came and talked to and told Mary that she was going to bear the Son of God. And then we have archangels are mentioned in the Bible. Michael is an archangel. Then we have warrior angels. Some other angels I've seen are music director angels and healing angels. So anyway, I've never read a book like a dictionary of the different types of angels beyond what I have seen and read in the Bible about angelic encounters. I've seen and observed all these different kinds of angels and have kind of given them my own names based on what they look like. So, so anyway, let's see. When babies smile and laugh in their sleep, it's because the angels are playing with them. Huh. That could be. We have a little cat that does this. See if I can find a video of this sometimes to show, but it does like this little thing. It looks up at the sky and goes like this, and I think maybe it's playing with an angel. I don't know. I think sometimes animals are able to see in the spiritual realm as well. And this is all up to God, folks. God is in control of the veil between the physical world and the spiritual world. And so God, especially for believers, if he decides for whatever reason to let a human being, have an interaction with an angel, it's all because God has ordained it. God has arranged it. He is always in control. God is always in control, especially if you are a believer in Jesus Christ and you are submitted and surrendered to him, then he is in control of the things that happen to you. So anyway, let me tell you the story. So I just started reading this book, Angels of Fire. This is by Candice Smithyman. And if you're not familiar with her, she is actually she's a prophet, a modern day prophet. And, but she is heading up this, it's called Million Women March on DC, in Washington, DC. And this big, huge event is taking place in October, and they are getting at least 1 million women. And I think they're going to have a lot more than that. And they are marching to the Capitol in Washington, DC to pray for the country. And this is a huge, huge nationwide event. Lou Engle, if you know who he is, he's another prophetic, modern day prophet, I believe. And they are working together to do this big event. So right now she's traveling around the United States to promote this event and get people involved in it. And I met her a week and a half half ago because she came to Morningside, which is Jim Baker's place here in Blue Eye, Missouri. He's 1 mile away from our farm, and I actually go to church at Morningside at Jim Baker's church. I've never actually met Jim Baker. He's had a bunch of small strokes, and he is home. He is bedridden right now, so I've never met him, but I have met his family and most of his children, and they are wonderful, wonderful people who love Jesus. Don't believe the things that you hear on the news. Don't believe it. But anyway, so I met Candice Smithyman because she came to Morningside to speak. She was wonderful, and I bought this book, and so I've been reading this book, and it's so exciting because I've never really met a lot of other people who see angels. I have met some people, but have not been able to, for one reason or another, speak with them at length. And so I just I've never read anything from anybody else who has had these experiences of seeing different kinds of angels until now. So I'm reading this book, and it's just so encouraging and exciting because as I'm reading through this, she's describing these angels and she's describing them in exactly the same way that I have seen them. And so to me, it's very confirming that either Candice Smithyman and me are crazy in exactly the same way, or there is something to this. And God is actually letting us have experiences and interactions with angels, which is what I believe. And so anyway, it's just been very encouraging. So here's my story. So the other night, it was my husband and I were laying in bed we read before we go to sleep. And so we were in bed reading. So I was reading this book, and so I've been telling him about it. I tell him all about my vision experiences, and he believes all of it. Bless his heart. Either maybe we're both crazy, but he believes all of these things that I say. So I've been telling him about what I'm reading in this book and how exciting it is. And so I got to the next section in her book, and I saw the title, and it said Joy Angels. So she's been describing all the different kinds of angels, and a lot of the same fire angels and warrior angels and music angels that I have seen myself. And then I saw the title Joy Angels, and now Joy. Now, I have never heard of a joy angel. I have never seen a joy angel, but it just sounded so amazing to me. And so I didn't even read anymore. I just read the title, and then I closed my eyes and I said a quick prayer, and I'm like, God, could I please have experience a joy angel ministering to me? And he answered me immediately. He said, of course, whatever you ask in my name, I will do. And now let me explain before you take this out of context or misunderstand what I'm saying, because I've seen this verse. This is a promise God that Jesus gives us in John 14. He says, whatever you ask in my name, I will do. And I've seen this abused so much. People think that all they have to do is say in Jesus' name, and then they can ask for whatever they want. So I do not believe that promise from Jesus can be used like a little genie lamp that you can just ask for whatever you want. I want $1 million, or I want to be famous, or whatever, because there's that very important phrase in there that Jesus says, in my name. That means so much more than just saying the words in Jesus' name. In my name, when Jesus says that, he's talking about an entire lifestyle of submitting and surrendering to Jesus Christ, and to delighting yourself in Jesus Christ and seeking him with your whole heart, mind, and soul and body. And so evidently, so that is what he means when he says in my name. So I see people abusing some of these promises in the Bible, but that is what I believe. So anyway, me asking God, can I please experience a joy angel ministering to me? Evidently that met the criteria, and God actually, I believe, responded by saying, of course, whatever you ask in my name, I will do. And then immediately in the spirit, this little angel came into the room. Oh, am I frozen? Oh, he said, okay, my husband is saying I'm frozen. It's not frozen on my screen. So let me just tell you this. If the screen freezes up, hang with me, because what I'm going to do is I will go out of everything, and then I will come back in, and it should then come back online. So, but it is not frozen for me. So Craig, if you can just tell me in another minute or two if it's still frozen, even though I can see it, I will go ahead and close out of everything and come back in. So anyway, okay, let me finish my story, and if it stays frozen, then I will reboot everything. So immediately after that happened, this little angel came into the room, and I could see it. and it was very clear. Sometimes they're clear, sometimes they're not so clear. And so when I was telling my husband what was happening, there was a little bitty angel that came into the room, and it was just flitting around. And I was immediately filled with this joy and this happiness. It was just this wonderful, delightful experience. And I could see the angel very clearly, and it was small and it was feminine. And so both of those things are notable because some angels are huge, like the guardian angels are big, like archangels and warrior angels that I've seen in the past are humongous. Like guardian archangels are like 20 stories high. And then most angels that I see also are masculine. I don't believe angels have gender like we do, but some of them, most of them look masculine. Some of them I have seen are feminine. So, but not as many. So this one was feminine, and it also had like this golden yellow light emanating from it. So it was just wonderful. It was this amazing experience, and so I was telling my husband, I was describing the angel to him, and then so I started reading the book again. Oh, am I still frozen, Craig? I don't know. Okay. So anyway, so let me finish the story. So I started reading the book again. And then as I read through that section about the joy angel, she described it like this. It was a small angel, feminine, blonde, with golden light. So it was so amazing because she immediately, I had not read that yet when I saw that angel. And I just had been describing it to my husband. And then she described it exactly the way that I had seen it. So it was just like this immediate confirmation from God, I believe, that because when people who have these experiences of having visions or maybe seeing angels or getting words from the Lord or dreams, a lot of times it's easy to feel like you're crazy and to doubt, to think that, oh, maybe this is just my imagination. It's honestly, I believe, very healthy to doubt these things and to try to test them and not to believe all of these things that happen to you, but to be very careful and to ask God for confirmations and always check everything by the Bible, always. And so anyway, but I love it when this sort of thing happens. So I immediately got confirmation that no, this is not your imagination. It just is too much of a coincidence that she would describe this angel exactly the way that you saw her and you told your husband. So I have a witness. So anyway, that's my story. It was wonderful. If you are interested in if you're interested in reading more about my experiences with angels, I do have a lot of those in my books. Every time I talk about my books, which is not very often, there's always somebody saying, oh yeah, you're just trying to sell books. I don't make hardly any money. In fact, I don't make any money for these books. I'm in the negative for my books. Okay, they're really, really cheap. They are on Amazon. So if you're interested in my story, this is My Demon, My Jesus is about my life story. I struggled with depression for many years. I actually committed suicide over 30 years ago by taking sleeping pills. I died and had an out-of-body death experience. God sent angels to save me and to help me call for help. So they were able to bring me back to life in the hospital. Then after that, God miraculously healed me from all depression. So that's what this book is about, my story and how God healed me. And also I take people through the same steps because I believe that God can heal others in the same way he healed me from depression and from anxiety and things like that. And then this is my latest book, which is Join Hands with Heaven. If that title sounds familiar, it's because it's the same as my podcast. Join Hands with Heaven. This is a series of visions that I had back in January of last year. And I believe they're prophetic. And so I'm just describing the visions and also telling what I believe, the interpretations that I believe God has given me about what I think is going to happen probably in the near future. So anyway, they're both on Amazon.com.